Successful people don't just manage hours, they master them. Every minute is a decision, every hour is an opportunity. In this video, we'll uncover the powerful habits, intentional routines, and focused mindsets that separate the productive from the passive, the driven from the distracted, the builders from the bystanders. Here's the truth. Success isn't about luck, talent, or even hustle. It's about leverage. The world's most successful people don't just manage time, they bend it to their will. If you've ever wondered why some people make every day count, this is your wake-up call. Your 24 hours are your greatest asset. If you're ready to stop wishing for more time and start owning it, keep reading, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how to make every hour count like a champion. Let's learn to use them like the winners do. Winning doesn't start at dawn. It begins in the dark. You don't create a victorious day when the sun rises. You build it the night before, brick by brick while the world sleeps. Most people drift through life on autopilot, waking up to the scream of an alarm, drowning in notifications before their feet even hit the floor, and stumbling into their day like a ship without a rudder. But let me tell you something brutal yet liberating. Hope is not a strategy. Chaos doesn't breed greatness. The elite don't leave their success to chance. While others are lost in the fog of yesterday's distractions, the winners are already 2 steps ahead. Before they close their eyes, they've already scripted their tomorrow. Every priority, every battle, every moment of focus, locked in like coordinates on a map. Because here's the unshakable truth. A day without intention is a day surrendered to mediocrity. I learned this the hard way. I used to think I could out-hustle the lack of a plan, that raw effort alone would carve my path. But time doesn't reward effort, it rewards strategy. And the cold reality is this. If you don't command your day before it begins, the world will command it for you. And the world doesn't care about your dreams. So here's the creed I live by now. The night is your silent ally. The quiet hours, when others are scrolling, worrying, or sleeping, that's your secret battleground. That's where you lay the traps for procrastination, where you disarm tomorrow's distractions before they ever fire a shot. You don't just wake up successful, you preload it. Because when dawn finally breaks, you won't be scrambling for direction. You'll already be moving. Unstoppable, precise, a force of nature. The difference isn't in the hours you're given. It's in what you do with the darkness before them. Now, whose tomorrow are you writing tonight? Own tomorrow before tonight ends. Here's a truth that separates the exceptional from the exhausted. Your morning doesn't determine your day. Your night does. Most people crash into bed like a deflated balloon, drained by the day's chaos, only to wake up and repeat the cycle. But the ones who rise unstoppable, they don't just end their day, they launch it before they sleep. Take 10 minutes. Just 10. That's all it takes to turn randomness into mastery. Grab a pen and murder ambiguity on paper. Write what must be done, who must be called, but most crucially, why it sets your soul on fire. Without that why, you're a ship adrift. With it, you're a torpedo locked on target. Let me ask you hard questions. When did you last close your day like a CEO instead of a spectator? Not with mindless scrolling or the glow of another episode, but with the quiet intensity of a warrior sharpening their sword. Success doesn't wait for sunrise. It's built in the stillness of night. It's in the rituals, laying out your armor, yes, even your clothes, scripting your battles, your top 3 non-negotiables, and, most powerfully, seeing the person you'll become. when your eyes reopen. The average prepare nothing and wonder why nothing changes. The elite preempt the storm. They don't hope for a good day. They design it in the dark. Tonight, when the world hits pause, you have a choice. Fall asleep by accident, or send your future self into battle fully armed. The clock is ticking. Midnight isn't just a time. It's your secret weapon. Will you waste it or wield it? The silent war for tomorrow is won tonight. Success isn't claimed in the noisy rush of dawn. It's seized in those quiet, unseen hours when the world sleeps and you decide who tomorrow's version of you will be. While others drift into unconsciousness, you have the power to architect your future with nothing but a pen, some paper, and the courage to confront what really matters. Here's the unshakable truth. Your morning doesn't determine your day. Your preparation does. They'll tell you the early bird gets the worm, but that's only half the story. The victor gets something far more valuable: the unbeatable advantage of time, focus, and ruthless intention. While the mass wake up defeated before they begin, drowning in notifications, scrambling to catch up, the elite stand ready, poised, because they prepared their victory the night before. I learned this the hard way. For years, I treated mornings as obstacles to endure rather than weapons to wield. Then I discovered the secret. The first hour after waking doesn't shape your day. The last hour before sleeping does. That sacred space between today and tomorrow is where ordinary lives and extraordinary ones diverge. Now I ask you, will you stumble into another day defenseless, letting the world dictate your priorities? Or will you claim the night as your strategic advantage, plotting your course, setting your non-negotiables, and programming your subconscious to wake up already in pursuit mode? This is your moment of truth. The world's most successful people don't just happen to have better mornings. They engineer them in advance. Tonight, while others waste their final waking moments on distractions, you'll be doing something radical, building tomorrow before it arrives. The choice is yours. But remember, every legendary day in history was first conceived in the quiet darkness of preparation. Will yours be among them? The midnight blueprint of champions. While the world sleeps, winners are already awake, not in body, but in mind. They're scripting tomorrow's victories tonight because they understand this ironclad law of success. The battle is won before the first shot is fired. Most people treat bedtime as an ending. The greats treat it as a secret launch pad. That final quiet hour isn't for mindless scrolling. It's your strategic command center. This is when you assassinate uncertainty by defining exactly what tomorrow's win looks like. Neutralize distractions before they can ambush your focus. Outgrand your subconscious to wake up in beast mode. I used to wonder why my best intentions crumbled by 10 a.m. Then I realized I was showing up to a gunfight with a butter knife. The successful don't just react to their days, they preemptively conquer them while others are watching reruns. Your pillow isn't just for rest, it's the drawing board of destiny. What you etch into your mind tonight becomes your reality tomorrow. The clothes laid out, the priorities crystallized, the mission visualized. These aren't just habits. They're force multipliers right now. Somewhere in your city, your future competitor is planning their attack on tomorrow. The question is, are you The night doesn't just precede the day, it authors it. And tonight, like every night, you hold the pen. Will you write excuses or empire? The countdown to your next 24 hours has already begun. What happens between now and sunrise determines everything. The first hour that changes everything. Now I understand the truth. Mornings aren't just another part of the day. They're sacred ground where victories are seeded. That golden hour after sunrise is life's ultimate leverage point, your private workshop where you forge the day before the world gets its hands on it. Let me hit you with a hard question. When your eyes open tomorrow, will you rise with purpose or simply default into existence? Because here's the brutal reality. How you greet the morning is how you approach your entire life. That first hour sets the gravitational pull for everything that follows. Your business, your health, your relationships, your very destiny. So the elite don't stumble into their days. They attack them. While most are drowning in notifications before their feet hit the floor, the greats are already stacking wins. They move while others snooze. They think before others react. They train while others complain. That precious morning silence is an empty space. It's the incubator for greatness. And to those who say, I'm not a morning person, I call bullshit. Neither was I until I realized success doesn't give a damn about our comfort zones. Discipline isn't about what feels good, it's about what gets results. And there's no better gym for your willpower than those first 60 minutes. This is where champions are made. Not in the spotlight, but in the quiet dawn. Where you prove to yourself that today, like every day, you're the commander of your fate. That notebook you write in, that workout you crush, that meditation you sit through, these aren't just routines. They're declarations of war against mediocrity. The sun will rise tomorrow, whether you're ready or not. The question is, will you be the hunter or the prey when it does? That first hour is your sword. Grab it. The dawn discipline, how legends are forged before breakfast. Let me tell you something the world won't. There are two types of people in this world. Those who let mornings happen to them and those who make mornings happen for them. That first golden hour isn't just time, it's territory. And right now, you're either conquering it or surrendering it. I used to hate mornings until I discovered their dirty little secret. They're the ultimate advantage. While 95% of people are slapping snooze buttons, the top 5% are writing the script of their day before life can throw them a plot twist, moving their body when others are still mentally in bed, beating their mind while others consume meaningless noise, setting non-negotiables that make the world bend to their schedule. This isn't about waking up early, it's about waking up deliberately. The magic doesn't come from seeing sunrise. It comes from what you do while the rest of the world sleeps through theirs. Your morning routine is your personal leadership academy. Every page you read is a promotion. Every drop of sweat is currency. Every moment of stillness is strategic planning. You're not just starting your day, you're stockpiling ammunition for the battles ahead. And here's the kicker. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. Showing up for yourself first so you can show up better for everything else. The military trains at dawn, not because it's easy, but because it's character revealing. Tomorrow's alarm isn't a request, it's a test. The question is, will you pass or fail yourself before the world even gets a chance to grade you? The most important hour of your life is coming. Will you waste it? or weaponize it. The choice and the power has always been yours. Master the morning, command your life. Forget the hype about pre-dawn wake-up calls. This isn't about becoming a slave to the clock. This is about becoming the master of your time. The magic hour isn't 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. It's the moment you claim for yourself before the world comes knocking. That sacred space between sleep and surrender where you declare who's running the show. Here's the raw truth. Most people donate their best hours to other people's agendas. They wake up to a barrage of demands, emails barking, notifications stealing, calendars hijacking, before they've even had a thought of their own. But you're different. Tomorrow you won't just wake up, you'll rise up. Phone silence, distractions exiled, just you, your plan, and the unshakable resolve to lead your life instead of following someone else's script. Because here's the secret they don't teach. Whoever owns the morning owns the day. Whoever owns the day owns their destiny. But beware, the world will try to sell you busyness as a badge of honor. Don't buy it. Most people are drowning in activity but starving for progress. They mistake motion for momentum, checklists for change. The elite know better. They don't just do, they decide. Every morning they separate the vital few from the trivial many. They don't major in minor things. This is your wake-up call. Literally. Not to add more to your day, but to do more of what matters. Success isn't about cramming in tasks. It's about crowding out the noise. So when that alarm sounds tomorrow, remember, you're not getting out of bed. You're stepping into the arena. The world gets a say in your day only after you've had your... The question is, will you hit snooze on your potential or press start on your purpose? The morning doesn't wait. Neither should you. The few that change everything. You've heard the numbers. 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. But here's what separates those who know this truth from those who live it. Winners don't just acknowledge the Pareto principle, they weaponize it. While others drown in endless to-do lists, the elite ask the brutal question, what few things, if done exceptionally well, would make everything else easier or irrelevant? This is where most lives veer off course. You can be the most efficient machine in the world, but if you're climbing the wrong mountain, all that effort just gets you to the wrong destination faster. The harsh reality, you could spend decades color-coding your calendar, optimizing your systems, checking off tasks, and still wake up one day wondering why you're not where you want to be. Let me draw the line in the sand. A task is something on your list. A priority is something that, if left undone, means the day was a failure. The former keeps you busy, the latter moves you forward. Successful people don't just manage time, they massacre triviality. They know that every yes to what matters requires a no to what doesn't, no matter how tempting or urgent it seems. This is the ultimate power move. Doing less, but better. Shallow activity for deep focus. Reaction for intention. Motion for secret isn't in your productivity apps or planners. It's in your willingness to stare down your day and say, these three things matter. The rest can wait. Because when you consistently nail the vital few, everything else either falls into place or falls away as the distraction it always was. So tell me, when you look at today, are you investing in the 20% that builds your future, or just burning energy on the 80% that won't matter next month? The difference between ordinary and extraordinary lives in that answer, your focus is your force multiplier. Here's the hard truth you need to tattoo on your mind. You don't have unlimited time, but you do have unlimited potential if you channel your energy like a laser beam. Every morning, the world will try to scatter your attention like leaves in the wind. Resist. Take that to-do list staring you in the face and interrogate it like a suspect. Cross-examine every item. Will completing this actually move the needle in my life? Because here's the secret. No productivity guru will tell you. Most tasks are just well-disguised distractions. The magic happens when you stop doing things right and start doing the right things. I live by this ironclad rule. If it's not carved into my calendar in blood, it's just a fantasy. Average people float through life with mental sticky notes. I'll get around to it when things calm down. Meanwhile, champions treat their schedule like a sacred contract. They know a dream without a date is just a wish. This is your wake-up call. Stop hoping you'll find time. Start commanding it. That project that matters, book it like a board meeting. That workout you keep skipping, give it a throne in your schedule. The world doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand through unshakable intention. Watch what happens when you start treating your priorities like the VIPs they are. Suddenly, you're not chasing time, you're directing it. Not reacting to life, but architecting it. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't talent or luck. It's this simple act of putting what matters on the calendar before the world can fill that space with nonsense. So tell me, what's more important than your dreams that you're letting steal their time slots? The clock's ticking, your move. Your calendar is your blueprint for greatness. The human mind is a terrible filing cabinet. It forgets, it procrastinates, it gets distracted. That's why winners don't trust their memory, they build systems that don't. I'm not telling you to micromanage every minute, but to architect your days with intention. Here's the golden rule. What gets scheduled gets done, not what you vaguely intend to do, not what you hope to squeeze in. The things that actually move your life forward need more than mental real estate. They need physical territory in your calendar. Think about it. Where is your growth time blocked? Where is your deep work session carved in stone? Where do your health, wealth building, and relationships claim their rightful space? If they're not in the schedule, they're not serious. Just passing thoughts drifting through your mind like clouds. The elite don't find time. They forge it. They don't hope for openings in their schedule. They create fortresses around what matters. That book you mean to read, it gets a throne in your calendar. That business idea you want to develop, it gets treated like a board meeting with your future self. This is the professional's edge, turning priorities into appointments you can't break. Because when your calendar mirrors your values, your days stop slipping through your fingers. You stop being a spectator of time and become its master. So look at your schedule right now. Does it reflect the life you claim to want? Or is it just a graveyard of good intentions? The difference between who you are and who you could be lies in those blank spaces waiting to be claimed. Time doesn't care about your dreams, but it always obeys your discipline. The question is, what are you going to command it to do today? The moment your life shifts gears, this is where transformation happens. When you stop drifting and start directing. When you trade, I'll get around to it, for this happens at 3 p.m. Tuesday. Right now, grab your calendar and hold it up like a mirror. Does next week's schedule reflect the person you're becoming or the person you're tired of being? Here's the raw truth. Every blank space you leave in your calendar gets filled by someone else's agenda. Every maybe later is a surrender slip for your potential. But when you start blocking time for your growth, like it's a meeting with the CEO of your future, that's when the magic happens. Your calendar isn't just a tool, it's a covenant. What's scribbled there in ink today becomes the flesh and blood of your tomorrow. That book you want to read? It's not real until it's got a time slot. That business idea? Still a fantasy until it owns calendar real estate. Now comes the hard part. Every sacred yes demands a ruthless no. You'll drown in good opportunities while great ones pass you by. Most people don't fail from lack of talent. They suffocate under piles of half-hearted commitments to things that never matter. The elite understand saying no isn't rejection, it's selection. That text can wait. That meeting probably shouldn't happen. That urgent request, 9 times out of 10, it's only urgent for someone else. Your power lives in the space between invitations and obligations. Guard it like your life depends on it, because your dreams do. The world will always try to trade your focus for its chaos. Your job? To price that focus at rates too high for distractions to afford. So look at your hand right now. It's holding both the pen and your future. What gets written today becomes reality tomorrow. The question is, are you authoring your destiny or just taking dictation from the world? Now, let me uncover the hidden currency of your life. Every yes you utter is a silent theft from your future self. That harmless favor, that unnecessary meeting, they're not just minutes lost, they're pieces of your potential given away. While you're saying yes to trivialities, you're whispering no to your health, no to your dreams, no to the deep work that builds legacies. This is the secret they don't teach. Freedom isn't found in endless options. It's forged in ruthless elimination. The elite don't just manage time, they protect it like Fort Knox. They understand that guilt is a terrible compass and urgency is often just someone else's emergency in disguise. Your calendar is sacred ground. Every commitment that crosses its borders must justify its existence. Does this move me forward or hold me back? Time, like money, compounds, but only when invested wisely. Most people are bankrupt, spending their days on emotional impulse purchases that leave their dreams starving. Here's your new litmus test. When opportunity knocks, ask, is this the key to my future or just another lock on my potential? That phone call can wait. That meeting probably shouldn't happen. That social obligation, if it drains more than it gives, it's not obligation, it's sabotage in disguise. Saying no isn't rejection. It's strategic selection. It's not selfishness, it's stewardship of your one wild and precious life. The most powerful people aren't those who say yes to everything, but those who save their yeses for what truly sets their soul on fire. Now consider this. While others are killing time in waiting rooms and traffic jams, the greats are harvesting it. That dead time between appointments, that's your secret garden of growth. An audiobook transforms your commute into a classroom. A notes app turns grocery lines into brainstorming sessions. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary lives in these margins. Will you fritter away your fragments of time or weaponize them? Every minute you reclaim is a brick in the foundation of your future. So the next time you find yourself waiting, remember, champions don't count down the minutes, they make the minutes count. Your destiny isn't built in grand gestures alone, but in these stolen moments of intention. The clock is ticking. What will you do with your next interstitial moment? The choice, as always, is yours. Your life is built in the margins. That empty space between appointments, that's not downtime. It's your secret weapon. While others scroll mindlessly, you could be listening to a game-changing audiobook in traffic. Be storming your next big idea in the checkout line, practicing deep breathing in the elevator, reviewing your goals in the doctor's waiting room. Here's the brutal truth. The average person sees gaps in their day. Legends see opportunities. You don't need more time. You need better eyes to see the time you're already wasting. I used to complain about not having enough hours until I realized I was throwing away golden minutes like pocket change. That 10 minutes before a meeting, enough to sketch a business plan. That 20-minute commute, half a podcast that could change my thinking. The most successful people don't have magical time-creating powers. They have something far more powerful: relentless intentionality. They treat spare moments like drops of water in the desert, too precious to waste. Your phone is either the greatest tool or the greatest thief in your life. That device in your pocket contains all the world's knowledge. Will you use it to grow or just to numb? This isn't about productivity hacks, it's about mindset shifts. When you start seeing waiting time as growing time, something miraculous happens. You stop chasing time and start multiplying it. The next time you're just waiting, ask yourself, could this moment move me one step closer to my goals? Because here's the secret no one tells you. Big lives are built in small moments. Your future self is watching. What will they see you doing with these hidden pockets of potential? The difference between who you are and who you could be is found in how you use these in-between times. To ask, another minute just passed. What will you do with the next one? The compound interest of time. Here's the secret: the wealthy in both time and money understand small moments consistently invested yield extraordinary returns. That 5 minutes in the elevator, that 20-minute commute, those in-between moments most people lose. They're your hidden fortune, waiting to be claimed. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to mine the gold in the hours you already have. While others see waiting, winners see windows. A podcast turns traffic into a masterclass. A notes app transforms a coffee line into a brainstorming session. A few pages of a book in a waiting room become chapters of growth over a month. Think about it. 20 minutes a day is a full college semester each year. That's the power of micro moments. It's not about cramming more in. It's about squeezing more value out of what's already there. The elite don't have magical focus. They've just weaponized life's inevitable pauses. They carry books like swords. They queue up podcasts like ammunition. They treat spare minutes like drops of water in the desert, too precious to waste. Here's the challenge. Stop seeing downtime and start spotting growth time. That phone in your pocket, it's either the greatest library or the greatest distraction. You choose. That mental list of ideas, capture them before they escape. That book you've been meaning to read, let it live in your bag, not on your someday list. Because here's the truth. Your life isn't built in the grand gestures alone. It's forged in these fleeting, seemingly insignificant moments. The person you'll be in 5 years depends entirely on how you use these in-between minutes today. So the next time you're waiting, remember, you're not just standing in line, you're standing at a crossroads. Will you default to distraction or seize the opportunity to grow? The clock is ticking. Your future self is watching. What will they see you building in these hidden pockets of time? A hidden economy of lost minutes. Let me show you the brutal math of time poverty. The average person will waste 37,000 minutes this year on mindless scrolling, idle waiting, and empty distractions. That's 617 hours, nearly 26 full days, gone. Meanwhile, the world's top performers are quietly turning those same lost fragments into compound interest for their success. Here's what nobody tells you. There are two types of time in your day. The obvious hours you schedule, and the invisible minutes you surrender. The difference between mediocrity and mastery lies in those surrendered moments. I used to believe busyness was the enemy, until I discovered the real thief, unclaimed interstitial time. That's 7 minutes before your Zoom call starts, enough to review your top priorities. That 12-minute subway ride, a chapter of an audiobook that could reframe your thinking. That 3-minute elevator wait, space for 3 power breaths to reset your nervous system. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves, I don't have enough time. The truth, you're swimming in unused minutes, like a miser sitting on buried gold. Let me show you 3 things wealthy time investors do differently. 1, they carry growth tools like firefighters carry axes. Always at the ready. Books, podcasts, notepads. 2, they treat transition moments like pit stops, opportunities to refuel mentally. 3, they know 5 focused minutes beats 25 distracted ones. Your phone is either the ultimate leverage tool or the ultimate liability. That device contains access to every great book, course, and idea in human history. Will you use it to build empires or burn minutes? Here's your wake-up call. That nothing time between activities isn't empty space. It's the universe giving you bonus rounds. The person who masters micro moments doesn't just get more done, they become more. So the next time you catch yourself waiting, remember, this isn't a pause in your productivity. It's a secret level up. Will you spend these minutes or invest them? The choice and the compounding returns are yours. TikTok. Another irreplaceable minute just passed. How many more will you let slip through your fingers before you start collecting them like the currency they are? The art of leverage. How winners multiply their time. You're not stuck in traffic. You're in a mobile classroom. You're not waiting in line. You're standing in your personal think tank. This subtle shift in perspective separates those who build empires from those who barely maintain their lives. Here's the truth that will set you free. Time doesn't discriminate. It gives everyone the same 86,400 seconds daily. But how you redeem those seconds determines whether you'll be the architect of your life or just another laborer in someone else's blueprint. Now let's talk about your most precious resource, your focused energy. If you're personally handling every minor task in your life and business, you're not being productive. You're being reckless with your potential. The elite operate by a simple but revolutionary principle. If it doesn't require your unique genius, it shouldn't consume your irreplaceable time. Here's your three-part liberation strategy. 1. Delegate like a general. Your hands weren't made for $10 0 cents per hour tasks when your mind can generate $1,000 0 cents per hour ideas. That administrative work, those repetitive chores, hand them to someone whose skills match the task. Delegation isn't weakness, it's strategic leadership. 2. Automate like a tech titan. We live in an age where software can handle your scheduling, finances, and even customer service. If you're manually doing something more than 3 times, you're not working, you're wasting. Build systems that work while you sleep. 3. Eliminate like an editor. Some tasks aren't just unimportant, they're imaginary obligations we've outgrown. That meeting that could be an email, that report no one reads, that urgent request that's really someone else's lack of planning, delete them mercilessly. Remember, every minute you spend on non-essential work is stolen from your highest potential. The most successful people aren't those who work the longest hours. They're those who've mastered the art of focusing their brilliance where it matters most. So ask yourself tonight, what 3 times things can I delegate, automate, or eliminate tomorrow? Your future self will thank you for the freedom you create today. The clock is ticking. Will you keep doing $10 0 cents work while dreaming of $10,000 0 cents results? Or will you finally start acting like the CEO of your own life? The choice and the consequences are entirely yours. Here is the evening alchemy, turning today into tomorrow's advantage. Most people collapse into bed like spent marathon runners, exhausted, empty, with nothing left but the day's residue. But the elite, they don't just end their days, they mind them. Here's the truth no one tells you. The last hour of your day is the first hour of your tomorrow. While others numb themselves with screens and distractions, winners conduct something far more powerful, a daily reckoning. Ask yourself tonight, what 3 lessons did today tattoo on my soul? Where did I stumble? And what gold hides in that stumble? What one insight can I carry into tomorrow like a secret weapon? This isn't about productivity hacks. This is the art of alchemy. Turning ordinary days into extraordinary wisdom. That difficult conversation, that small victory, that moment you nearly quit. They're all professors in the university of your life. If you'll pause long enough to hear their lectures, the magic happens in the stillness between days. When you trade mindless scrolling for purposeful reflection. When you exchange just one more episode for just one more insight. This is how ordinary people transform. Not in grand sweeping gestures, but in these quiet moments of harvesting wisdom from the soil of their experiences. Your pillow should be more than a place to rest your head. It should be the anvil where you forge tomorrow's edge. Tonight, before sleep claims you, do what the masses won't. Let's extract the day's hidden lessons. Honor your progress, no matter how small. Plant seeds of intention for tomorrow. Because here's the secret. The difference between 5 years of experience and 1 year repeated 5 times lies in your evening rituals. Will you just let today fade into darkness, or will you light tomorrow with its embers? The choice is yours. But remember, Every champion was once a student of their own life. Your journal is waiting. Your future is watching. What will you learn from today that will change all your tomorrows? Let us close the loop, the ritual that turns days into destiny. Most people treat their evenings like a dying campfire, letting the embers of today's potential fade into cold ash. But the world's most successful minds, they don't just end their days, they complete them. Here's the game-changing truth. Your pillow time is prime time. Those final conscious moments before sleep aren't just empty space. They're the launch pad for tomorrow's breakthroughs. While others overdose on digital dopamine, the elite are conducting something far more powerful, a daily debrief with destiny. Tonight, before the lights go out, ask yourself the 3 questions that change everything. 1, what evidence did today provide that I'm becoming who I want to be? 2, what painful lesson is trying to groom me for greater things? Then, number 3, if today was a chapter in my biography, what would the title be? This isn't about journaling for journaling's sake. This is conscious evolution. The practice of metabolizing your experiences into wisdom. That awkward conversation, that small victory you almost overlooked, that moment of frustration, they're all sacred data points in your growth algorithm, if you'll stop to decode them. The magic happens in what scientists call the hypnagogic state. Those twilight moments between wakefulness and sleep when your subconscious is most receptive. This is when you want to plant your most powerful thoughts, not pollute your mind with someone else's program. Your bedtime ritual should be more than brushing teeth. It should be sharpening your soul's edge. Tonight, while others are lost in the digital abyss, do what future you will thank you for. Harvest one golden nugget from today's experiences. Identify one pattern trying to teach you something. Cast one intentional thought into tomorrow's water. Because here's the secret they don't teach in school. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you prove you can handle. Through daily reflection, will you let today's lessons evaporate into the night, or will you distill them into rocket fuel for tomorrow? The blank page is waiting. The best version of you is watching. What wisdom will you carry forward from today that will make all your tomorrows different? Now, here is the daily crucible, where excuses go to die. Here's the raw truth about transformation. Awareness is the spark, but discipline is the fire that forges legacies. You can't course correct what you won't confront. Tonight, when the world sleeps, you have a sacred choice: to let today evaporate into fog, or to distill its essence into rocket fuel for tomorrow. Take 5 minutes, just 5, and perform the ritual that separates the growers from the sleepwalkers. 1, extract one brutal lesson today tried to teach you. 2, declare one non-negotiable for tomorrow. And finally, number 3, reaffirm the person you're becoming with every disciplined choice. This isn't journaling, it's conscious evolution. That difficult conversation, that small win you almost overlooked, they're not just events. They're encrypted messages about your trajectory. Decode them. Now let's talk about the engine of all real achievement. Discipline isn't your backup generator, it's your main power source. Motivation is a fair weather friend. Discipline is your battle-tested war buddy who shows up when the skies are black and the winds howl. The elite don't consult their feelings like some fickle oracle. When the alarm screams at 5 a.m., they don't debate, They detach from comfort and attack the day. Why? Because they've made a blood pact with their future selves. I will do what must be done, when it must be done, whether I feel like it or not. Here's the brutal math of life. Undisciplined days equals unremarkable weeks. Unremarkable weeks equals empty months. Empty months equals a life that whispers, what if, on deathbed. But discipline is the compound interest of character. Every rep you complete when no one's watching, that's another brick in your fortress of willpower. Every promise you keep to yourself, that's another thread in your armor against mediocrity.